Patrick Mahomes is the new face of the NFL, and a lot of people know how he has won an MVP and a Super Bowl despite being only 25 years old. What a lot of people don't know is how he turned from just another Texas high school quarterback into the newest NFL phenomenon. Hello, my name is Spectrum Sports, and today we are going to look at how Patrick Mahomes turned into the newest face of the NFL. Patrick Mahomes was born on September 17, 1995, to Pat Mahomes and Randy Martin in Tyler, Texas. Pat Sr. was a former baseball player, having played with multiple teams, most notably the New York Mets and Minnesota Twins. Pat Sr. was a pitcher who might not have been the best option to lead a rotation, but was a solid enough option to be a starting pitcher. It is widely believed that Patrick got his arm strength from his dad. Patrick even went on to be a baseball player himself when he was in high school, but his number one interest was football. Pat Sr. made sure to have little influence on his son's choice of sport that he wanted to go pro in, and it was obvious that Patrick wanted to be an NFL player. Patrick did not get to be a starting quarterback until his junior year in high school, but once he got a chance, he proved he was where he belonged. In the 2012 high school football season, Mahomes showed a glimpse of his full potential. He completed 56% of the passes he threw for a total of 3,839 yards and 46 touchdowns. Those are crazy numbers for someone who was in their first season as the starting quarterback. In 2013, he improved as he completed 58% of the passes that he threw for 4,619 yards and 50 touchdowns. With those numbers, it was clear that he was ready to play in college. Patrick decided that he wanted to go to school in his home state of Texas. He eventually settled on Texas Tech because he got both a football and a baseball scholarship to go there. Mahomes started his time in college football as a backup to Davis Webb, who was in his sophomore year at Tech. Mahomes wouldn't have to wait long for an opportunity to play, as in the team's fourth game of the season against Oklahoma State, Webb would get hurt and Mahomes would see action. He would be playing against a team who were starting Tyreek Hill, a running back, who would go on to be a teammate to Mahomes in the NFL. Mahomes would throw a touchdown pass, but the Red Raiders ended up losing. Mahomes got a chance to start against Texas that same season. They ended up losing that game, and he did not throw a single touchdown pass. Mahomes would do better in his next start the next week against Oklahoma. He threw 3 touchdown passes, but the Red Raiders still ended up losing. In his next game against Iowa State, he threw 4 touchdown passes and finally got his first win as a college starter. This gradual improvement would lay the groundwork for the rest of his time at Texas Tech. In 2015, Mahomes would be named the full-time starter for Texas Tech. He went 7-6, throwing for 4,653 yards and 36 touchdowns. He also proved that he could be reliable on the ground, rushing for 456 yards and 10 touchdowns. The Red Raiders ended up making the Texas Bowl, where they would lose to LSU. In 2016, Mahomes announced that he would quit baseball to focus on football full-time. The Red Raiders went 5-7, but Mahomes had the best season of his college career, throwing for 734 yards in a single game, which set the all-time college football record for most passing yards in a single game by a single player. He ended up being the national passing yards leader and the leader for most touchdowns created for his team. In 2017, Mahomes decided to enter the NFL draft. Most scouts in the draft thought he would be a second-round pick. The Kansas City Chiefs decided to take a chance on him though, as they drafted him 10th overall. He would not play for most of the 2017 regular season, but in the Chiefs' last game of the 2017 season, he finally got a chance to prove himself in the NFL against the Broncos on New Year's Eve. The Chiefs won the game, and Mahomes completed most of his passes despite not throwing a touchdown. The next season in 2018, the Chiefs traded Alex Smith, who was their starter at the time, and Mahomes finally got his chance to show that he was ready for the big show. He started all 16 games and threw for over 5,000 yards. He also had 50 touchdowns against 12 interceptions. His first season was so impressive that he ended up winning MVP in his first full-time season, joining Earl Campbell and Kurt Warner as the only players to do so. The Chiefs ended up making it to the AFC Championship game where they lost to the Patriots in overtime. The next season in 2019, Mahomes ended up missing 2 games and didn't put up nearly as impressive numbers as his rookie season, but the Chiefs did end up winning the Super Bowl, and Mahomes won Super Bowl MVP. Now, the big question is, why has Mahomes been so successful? Part of the reason is that his father's good arm must have passed down to him. Another reason to why he may have been so successful is that he quickly outgrew kids' venues on most occasions. But perhaps the biggest reason that Mahomes has been so successful is his killer instinct. He knows when to make risky decisions and when not to, and can perform on the biggest stage, coming up clutch for the Chiefs many times. All these factors go into making an NFL player who most likely will be a Hall of Famer if he keeps it up. Only time will tell if Mahomes will be a 2-year talent or will continue to be a success at the NFL level.